I just want to make a quick video about Stan Lee and a great leader in pop culture who has passed away. And I think it was kind of fitting that he passed on Veterans Day, which is a day which we remember our heroes. And Stan Lee was someone who always celebrated heroes, true heroism, and really changed the face of pop culture internationally. I also wanted to share this comic book haul I got. I got 10 books for $2. They're 50 cents each, or 10 for $2. And I got quite a few really great books here. I just wanted to share these. I figured it'd be a good way to honor Stan with a just to enjoy some comic books. This first one, obviously, is Snake Eyes, Larry Hama. I think this is Larry Hama. I've not opened these books up yet, so I have no idea what's inside. But Pitfall. Yep, Larry Hama. Larry Hama is really great. He made G.I. Joe, like, I'd say what it is today. He kept G.I. Joe relevant with his new characters that he added. The same way, people come along and revolutionize things. Like I was thinking, Stan Lee. He didn't create comic books, but he made them more accessible, more mass appeal. Yeah, so my nerd cred is not. I don't have great comic book nerd cred, but I do know a bit more about video games, and I like to compare DC Comics and Superman to Atari and sort of the arcade craze in the 1970s, and then video games were sort of dying, and then Nintendo came along and really made video games much more popular and accessible. So I think Stan Lee is sort of the Shigeru Miyamoto of comic books. That's for all the gamers out there. By the way, this cover, I love this classic Marvel, assembly of characters. I think that, I don't know if you can legally do like a like sort of like a sound-alike sort of homage, like with like a different company, like the Comicsgate people could do Red Rooster and Cyberfrog and all those guys, and then have like Cecil right here in the middle or something. That'd be kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, this is a great book. I want to start with this because it's a patriotic, and Stan Lee was in the military. He was called a playwright, I think. I could be wrong, but he did some sort of communications thing. You can Google it because I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was he was in World War II, so he was a hero in many ways. So here's X-Men with Storm, one of my favorite X-Men. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, Marvel comics were great. I grew up with this, the Jim Lee era cartoon. And got some toys. And I got this book. This is one of the earlier books I remember getting. Was it's a reprint of X-Men number 2, I think. Yeah, X-Men number 2 with the Vanisher. It's a classic X-Men, Stan Lee's X-Men. Some Jack Kirby art, great stuff. But yeah, this was awesome to get all these 10 books for $2. These classic books, these are original original copies from not the reprints or anything. They're just original comics from the 80s. I might already have this issue, but I'm not sure because I have quite a few of the Uncanny X-Men. This one's covers off, so it's a little bit depreciated, but where's the writer? Oh well. So yeah, that was great era for X-Men, obviously. RoboCop comic books. Wilson's got a little bit of gore to it, but I think it's kind of funny that. Oh wow, Mind Bomb. Collector's cards. But yeah, RoboCop is a very adult property. If you've seen the first one or the second one, it's very. Let me grab something real quick to show you. But it's very graphic and violent and adult. Let me just. It's a good image. Let's leave it on for a second. Let me grab one thing real fast. This is a cartoon based on RoboCop, and I was really into RoboCop as a kid. But it's funny to me how they make, toys of like RoboCop and Terminator, and these are not really for kids. It's really for adults, but they got to make their money, so kudos to them. Because I sure enjoyed it. Yeah, RoboCop, pretty cool. And Mask, DC comic, but I really got this one more for curiosity because I was this is before my time. The Mask I didn't really understand, but I heard great things about it. Everyone talks about Mask and how awesome it is. Sort of like I think they're in the Hasbro universe, so it's like, I could be wrong. Might be Mattel, but I think it's Hasbro. And there's like G.I. Joe. Is that right? That can't be right. I'll have to look that up. See, I don't know. I have no idea what Mask is even about. Funny little robot. Yeah, that's more curiosity. I got these for, these were 50 cents each or 10 for $2. Now this one I try to pick up more Alpha Flight because I want to learn more about North Star. So there's a lot of talk about representation and stuff in modern comic books, and the people at Marvel. See, I got an Iceman character here, Iceman figurine. Iceman apparently is a gay character. He wasn't for 50 some odd years. He's been kind of a ladies' man, but he's suddenly gay and was told he was gay, and he's believed it. But North Star is the original gay superhero. He before it was before it was before it was widely accepted, and before gay marriage was legal, North Star, came out and was a gay superhero. And now I personally believe that if Marvel wanted to promote a gay hero, they could have made North Star like the new leader of the X-Men and really told a great story. But see, I don't know if he's still alive. I don't know what the deal is with North Star, but I think that would have been a better route to go. just to promote North Star, to feature North Star more prominently in the Marvel universe, because he's a widely respected hero, legacy hero. Changing Iceman sort of cheapens it. But yeah, I'm gonna do some more research on North Star, and maybe do a video about North Star versus Iceman and their, how they compare and contrast. I also got a Indiana Jones book, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Looks like it's a pretty big book. Where's the page count? I don't see it. Got some good artwork, Indiana Jones artwork. It's supposed to be just a retelling of the movie. Where's the plane scene? Don't see it. But yeah, I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan. I'm more of a Star Wars fan. I actually even like the Jack Ryan, clear and present danger kind of vibe from Harrison Ford. About as much as I like Indiana Jones. So, no offense to anyone who loves Indiana Jones. I think he's great, but I like Star Wars, obviously. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading these books. And there's I forget that kid's name. Dr. Jones. I forget his name. See, I'm not a fan, or I'm not a huge beauty. I'm not a huge aficionado of Dr. Jones. But I did buy a few of the books, so I'm going to try to bone up on these. Oh, Buckaroo Banzai. That's who. Buckaroo who? Great movie. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. Buckaroo Banzai. It's kind of a cult classic. See, I took some notes. I was going to say some stuff about Stan. Oh yeah, Stan Lee. Stan Lee was. There was some controversy about who created what. How much of a say did he have in creating these characters? He, even if he wasn't the sole creator of Spider-Man or whomever, the Hulk or whoever, no one else could have done what he did. A lot of creators are kind of shy, and they express themselves through the art of comic books. But Stan Lee was kind of a triple threat or double threat, whatever. He could write great comics. He had a great speaking voice as well as a great writing voice. So he's also, he was a visionary, like they say. He had a good idea of what he wanted the comics to be. So, no one else could really have done what he did. Be an ambassador for comics and invite people into the world of comic books. I've never heard Steve Ditko or Jack Kirby speak, but most people most people talk normal. They don't really talk the way Stan did. Stan was a very bombastic and charismatic person. This looks awesome. Can't wait to read this one. What's going on here? Yeah, let me check this out. King Kong. Neato. Sorry, I'm getting lost. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Stan Lee was the only household name in comic books. So this is like, Steve Ditko died this year as well, but I maybe Todd McFarlane and R. Crumb, Harvey Pekar. There's some comic book artists out there who people are more familiar with, but no one is as popular as Stan Lee. Actors, musicians, politicians, and stuff like that. They die every year. The award ceremony, the Academy Awards have a bunch of a list of people who have died that year. But comic books, people, comic book creators die, and only comic book fans know about it. This is the only time a comic book creator, I think, will pass away and people will, notice, and it'll make, national news. In my opinion, I could be wrong about that, but so far, there's no one else as prominent as Stan Lee. He's like a household name. And it is. I mean, he was 95, so he was getting up there. But it's still sad that he. I would love to have seen him make 100 years old, but his wife passed away earlier, so I understand. It's probably gonna be hard for him to live alone like that. G.I. Joe, Parker Brothers. What is this? They have a lot of role-playing game ads in these old comic books, which you don't see anymore. It'd be kind of cool to see that in modern comics. A strong man. Awesome. Let's open this comic book. See, I'm just kind of hanging out, and looking at some comics for in honor of Stan the Man. And want to share some thoughts. Put this up real quick. There we go. So this was one of the earlier books I remember picking up from the grocery store. Just a reprint of some classic action. See, it's 90s, you can tell. Oh, one point I thought was interesting was that Professor X and Magneto represented Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, but the Professor X, it's sort of a switcheroo where Malcolm X is Magneto and MLK is Professor X. It's not so obvious that to make the Malcolm X character Professor X. You catch my drift. But and for the time, it's very very modern. Very modern story about. What am I trying to say? Being an outcast or being a marginalized group and still having a heroic outlook on life and being an exceptional person, and that's sort of what it represented. That's cool. I wish I could have been there. That'd have been awesome. Let's see, I had some more notes I took about Stan. Let's see. I was going to mention that he was in the Mallrats cameo, the Kevin Smith movie from the 90s, Mallrats. And that was really the first time I think, I could be wrong, that I remember hearing about Stan Lee And that was, I think Marvel, they had their cartoons out, but they were, what am I trying to say? Stan Lee, that movie, his cameo in that movie kept him in the zeitgeist of comics. And I think that Kevin Smith deserves some credit in keeping Stan Lee relevant through the 90s. Not all credit, but some credit is due to Kevin Smith and his love of Stan Lee. The MCU sort of followed suit, or I guess Sam Raimi, having a cameo. The Stan Lee cameo kind of became a trope in, comic book movies, or Marvel movies, at least. And so Kevin Smith kind of, like I said, deserves some credit for that. Here's a homage to Jack Kirby, or, saying that he passed away back in '94, 14 years ago. No, 24 years ago. But I just wanted to make this video and show my appreciation and this awesome comic book haul that I got for $2. All these, 10 books for $2. I actually picked these up on the day that Chuck Wendig was let go of Marvel, or taken off that book. That was a pretty memorable day. Went out and got some books, and I've just been keeping these to make a video about these later. And I thought that now would be a pretty appropriate time with Stan, just in honor of Stan, just remembering some of his creations and the mark he left on the world. He was one of a kind. There won't be another person out there like him. And anyone who comes close to just, a poor, a cheap copy of the original. So I just wanted to make this video real quick, and let me know if you have any thoughts on Stan Lee or these comics or anything I've said. So I'm going to wind it down. And also I will be making, because this is a Star Wars channel, I will be making a Star Wars video real soon. It's my reflection. I'll be talking about this because this is a Star Wars channel. I know I'm talking about comic books quite a bit, but I'm multifaceted. I like a lot of different things. So anyway, may the Force be with you, and to all the true believers, I'll say Excelsior. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see if I can stop this stream. Hang on. Oh, I pressed the X button. Okay, that's how I do it. I'm new to this, so bear with me. Anyway, Excelsior.